Hello, welcome to BlenderSushi Live Noding. The other day we looked into how we could create this kind of like a sunflower looking objects using animation nodes. Um, and I was mentioning about this Phyllotaxis algorithm and stuff. And then I uploaded the video, and that's live noding number 39. And there's a comment by Jax Luke, and then he pointed out that the script is very inefficient because of the loop. You copy the loop, and then the loops, I'm kind of doing a loop over a loop. And yeah, he further explained that I could make it a little bit faster. I think from what I realized, he is right. And let me close this Safari first. So this is just like an addendum to previous video. What I realized is maybe this setup can be a little bit faster if I put this script node outside of the loop. Yeah, let's try. So I'm gonna just unplug that, and I'm gonna make it so that this script node is gonna output like a list of vectors for our loop. Okay, it's kind of like a additional modification to our script. So we have like X, Y, and then I'll create a Z. Sometimes I still need a kind of Google stuff because I'm not a programmer per se, still learning. So I think we need a math libs. Yeah, let's see. Okay, let me think. No, not mathlibs, mathutils. What am I thinking? So the output is gonna be normally for the things like vertices. Let me check. So for generators like line and grid, you see the output is like a vertices for VectorList. So I'll do the same thing with this Phyllotaxis thing. I will, instead of outputting X and Y only, I'm gonna get rid of it, and then we're gonna output the VectorList, and we call it vertices. So we are following the example here with line mesh. It's gonna be vertices, and yeah, we can delete that. And the number, let's put it to 100. Magic number can stay there. Vertices. So we gotta maybe create like a vertices empty list. This is like a Python. The script node is written in using Python language. I mean, the script node is probably written using C or whatever, but the language used in the script node is Python. And so here we can, so we have created a list, Python list, but it's empty. Inside our loop, we can append the XYZ. And let's see if we can get an output. Debug loop. This is not actually loop, it's in Debug Drawer. Let's have a look. So we get a list. So it's actually working, but you will soon see an error, I think. So I create a vector list here and I just plug in the vertices. It's giving an error. Exception was raised during execution, maybe you get a blah blah blah. I don't have the Blender, what was it called? I should have opened this in the terminal, but basically it's animation nodes is expecting a vector here, not just a list. So here from math utils we're gonna use a vector kind of conversion. So by doing this, the data is now correct. So let's tidy up a little bit. This Phyllotaxis math formula. Append item into list. Okay, so now if we check again with the debug drawer, see the result is a vector, and that's actually what animation nodes like to have here. So we don't get the error anymore, and then so we can now pipe this in directly into, so that should go in there, and then should also go to the location, and so we have like 100 instances here. We need to match the number of instances and then the number of this Phyllotaxis thing. Integer output, integer input, let's say 100. And now, okay, I think I didn't plug things correctly. Vector should go into the direction. Now we get the sunflower back, 100, and now it should be a lot faster as well. Let me check if everything's correct. So integer, and then this is the loop thing. That's gonna be for our magic number. We don't need it. You can still change the magic number. 137.5 is the magic angle there. So yeah, everything's still working good. That's what we want. One more thing we can do is let's say you give this to your like an artist. You want to be able to kind of position the sunflower. At this moment we cannot do that because we don't have like a transform matrix. Let me try to do that real quick. Turn off always. I believe we can use a matrix output and then plug this in, and at the moment it goes back to, everything goes back to 0, 0, 0. I think we just need to use parent in first. I don't quite understand each of these, world, local, or basis, whatever, but I just give it a try. This is probably the right way to do it. If not, please let me know. So that's kind of doing what I think we need. That's what we want for the animators to have control over it. You could further tidy up this. Let me save it, and this is a good one. Good. I'll save as version 9. Save a lot of version is good. Sometimes even the old versions with problem, it's a useful one. Here's matrix blah blah blah. You know, this is the loop, right? But you want to kind of sometimes you want to probably give just the group. So this is, we have control inside the loop. We want to bring that in outside of the loop. Kind of these attributes need to be accessible outside the loop. That would be nice. So plug in there and there and there. Be careful not to plug them into the iterators. You want it to be like a parameter. So that's the parameter. You can have that control. You could also just plug the matrix into the input, but this is more understandable. Translate, rotate, scale instead of matrix. So yeah, I think that's a lot better. I could probably have more. I found that 150 is good for this. If I give more, I start to get overlap. No, it's actually good. Yeah, I'll just leave it at 150, it's okay. Oh yeah, say there's an overlap there. We can definitely continue tweaking it until we're happy. Just give it like 1, 2, 3. So Phyllotaxis sunflower version 2. That's a good yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with this. At this moment, you might have question like, hey man, what if we want to have like 10 of these sunflowers, maybe 100 of them, or 1,000 or 10,000 of this sunflower setup, and I want them to grow like this. For that, we might be able to do that. However, I still have to do some research on that. We could see that the problem is the object instancer cannot go inside the loop. And if you want to create like a group node, let me quickly create a group node. This group node, you cannot just plug in the, yeah, see, because we have the loop here. From what I understand with the group node, even object instancer, you cannot just plug in the instance. You cannot plug in that guy into there. That's not gonna work. What we can do, however, we could plug this into the parameter. Let's see. So object list, vector list, translation, rotations, scale, and then this is gonna be the sunflower. So we're gonna have like a sunflower node with object list, vector list, and this number. Yeah, I just now I have a thinking kind of with a node like this. If this is gonna be the sunflower node, right? Sometimes it's a good idea to have object output here and then have the translation matrix to be offset. but that's probably a little bit complex. So basically we want to have like array on top of another array on top of another array. I actually have an idea for another video lessons where we gonna do exactly that. Even though maybe we can do that inside animation nodes or sphere joke. However, it gets really complex inside the setup. Sometimes it's better to just cheat it. See, like this is like a 123 petal of sunflower, right? You could have like just a bunch of these, maybe like 10 different variations, and then using that 10 different variations we just instance them using Blender's particles, or yeah, even just like a 10 of these. At the moment these guys are actually kind of alive, yes, and they're like a single, they're not a single object, they're all separate objects. Might be a good idea to join them as a single mesh. But like to save the complexity, you might want to just bake them into a single animations, maybe like MDD type of mesh. And then once you have the bake versions, you have a single object, right? And single objects you can instance. You can have like 1,000, 10,000, doesn't matter because it's just an instance. And I think that's the best way to approach that kind of complexity. So let's give it a try. So this is, I should give this node a different color. At the moment it's just, okay, it's purple. No, it's okay. This is our script node. That's the color of script node. Let's see if I plug this into there and this into there. So maybe this is like a very it's actually flipping. If it's too small, it's flipping. Interesting. I could just duplicate this guy, put this to the side, maybe this have more. And just make another one. And you can give it, of course, more control to the user, like this color, the color thingy. I never tried it. I'm gonna save this as new version. I never tried with color. Maybe color is also nice to have for Animator, the color. So this color can go there. See, it's actually working kind of nice. I didn't know that this is actually working. So color A, color B, color C, color A, B, C. Let's shift the hue slightly. Point 5, yeah, around 0.5. and one more. So we have 3 different variations. Of course, it's nice if we can have this all of control and then all in one nodes, like huge nodes, can have control over everything, and then we can further loop and instance this guy, put it inside the loop, and then give it like a random color variations all in one huge loop. But that's a little bit complex, you know. Maybe not what you want. Like I said, it's better to just save it out as MDD, and then by doing so you don't have the headache trying to how to set this huge node. So this is Phyllotaxis version 2. That's a nice thing about group. We could really just add like a group output. Let's see if this actually works. Object list, or can we have like mesh data list? See, object list. Yeah, we're gonna have the object list. This is not a mesh data object. So what I'm trying to do is to output this guy. So this object going out, and then now we have this that's the group node, this invoke subprogram, and then we can return the object list. So now we have this object list outside. Mesh, I never try with mesh, but this is object list, and we can further do something with it, but it's not a whole objects. I don't think this guy is controlling the whole objects. You can even like scale it, so smaller flower. That's already pretty random, because if you have like 1000 of these sunflower objects, you cannot really tell, hey, that sunflower is the same just like that another one. Just 10 or 20 variations, and your eyes cannot tell. It's become like a pattern or like a noise inside your eyes. So it doesn't matter anyway. That's why I learned when dealing with instancing. Like if you have like a 10,000 of Lego bricks, or 100,000 or a million or billion, it doesn't, and you have them exploding, I don't think, even though it's like, wow, it's amazing, it can handle like billions of bricks and exploding, and for our eyes, for our brains, we often think it's just an explosion. And just like when I watched the Transformers movie, and there are so much details in the robots that my brain doesn't really cannot take it, you know. It's just too complex for the brain, and it becomes like it doesn't look beautiful. So that's the thing with a flower like this. If you have like 10,000 of them spread across the farm, if they are arranged in a certain way and it become like a nice beautiful pattern, then our brain can take it. But if they are just like messy, and then it's just, there is no point to that. But yeah, it's a movie, you know, maybe the director wants it like that. So with this, I wonder if I could do one more thing. This is an object going out. We can see this. if we can output the mesh data, there's a bmesh and a mesh data list. I kind of want to combine all this into a single object. Combine mesh data, vertex location, edges. Maybe I could do like a object mesh data and get the object list, and then interesting. But anyway, the idea is at the moment is they are all single separate objects and quite big, quite heavy for Blender to handle after a while. If we merge it into a single object, Blender can handle it much better. And the plan is to convert it into a single mesh join and then animate it and then cache it out as MDD, bring it back and use the modifier to read back the MDD data, and then have like 20 of them, and then we can instance it like 10,000 across all across the farm. Maybe I'll do that next time. Okay, so hope you like this video addition to the previous video. I think if you like to leave comments, please do, and then if you like this video and then you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and